Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I am so pumped up, so excited about today's show because, as it says in the Bible, if you plant something in our youth, especially when they're young, sometimes they fly away, sometimes they gather all that knowledge, and sometimes they carry on and teach it. They teach us. I'm talking about our kids. I'm talking about our babies. I'm talking about our young adults. I am talking about this young guest that I have on the show today. And so excited. I know if I say something before Dr. Cooley come on, she gonna say I done stole her thunder. How you doing, Dr. Michelle Denise?
I'm doing fine, James. How are you?
Well, I'm 3.2 on a 4.0 scale. That means that I always got room for improvement.
You're excited today about this amazing guest that we have. I'm excited too. You well, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but this is a refreshing look on this particular topic from, I think this is the youngest guest we've ever had on the show. What do you think?
I know this is the youngest guest we ever had on the show, and guess what? This young man right here is so incredible, and if we can just keep him grounded, keep him focused, I tell you what, everybody in the world gonna know about this young man right here as he grow up, as he mature, and they gonna know about him once he share this great knowledge. So I tell you what, wherever you are watching the show from, if you E360 TV, if you're watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, over 25 plus other mechanisms, and over 46 different podcasts. This young man is getting ready to bring it. And Michelle, tell them if they want to be part of this conversation, all they have to do is go to the comments and just ask. And I almost said his name, Michelle, before you did it. Ask the pastor any question you want to. You can ask Michelle or Dr. Hall is going to also be co-hosting this with me today. I'm excited. Let's get this thing started.
Well, the title of the show today is Why Children Should Know God Before They Grow Up. And the purpose of the show is getting to know the background of this amazing 8-year-old author, Pastor Drake Norris II, and talk about why do you think it's important for children to know God before they grow up, and what are the best rules for kids to follow that will help them succeed in life. And we're also going to discuss the simple 3-word philosophy and talk to Pastor Drake about his science and robotics program at his school. So, James, we also have a guest co-host today, don't we?
Oh, yes, we do. we got Dr. Hall there. How are you doing, sir?
I am well, both Dr. Cooley's. I am well. Thank you for having me today. Pretty excited myself.
Man, I'm excited, Doc. I'm excited about this guest, and Michelle, want you, Doc? Before we get started, can you tell our listeners, our viewers, just a little bit about you? I know, but if we can just sum it up in about 1.5 minutes.
Oh, yes. Thank you, sir. Hey, I'm a real estate developer, entrepreneur, an evangelist, an ambassador for the country of Malawi in Africa, amongst many titles and hats, I guess. But most importantly, a man of God, a child of God. And so I'm just excited about the opportunity today. You said the youngest guest that ever come on the show. And, to know that this young man is very special and near and dear to my heart for more than one reason. And I'm just excited to get everything started. So it's not about me, it's about him.
Well, I tell you what, let's bring this young man to the stage. How you doing, Pastor Drake Norris II? How you doing? How you doing?
Good, and you?
Man, I tell you, I'm excited. I'm just excited to have you on the show. I'm excited because you and I always talk, and man, every time I get an opportunity to chat with you, it's just enlightenment. It's enlightenment. So, and I just want you to share your story with our viewers and our listeners, and we just gonna talk it up a little bit. That's what I call it. We're gonna talk it up a little bit. So, Pastor Drake, can you tell our audience where you grew up? Well, first of all, tell them where you at now, how old you are, and where you grew up.
I was born in California and raised in Texas with my great grandma. And I'm 8 year old. I'm 8 years old. So and I live with my uncle Eric, and I came back to California.
So, how you like California? How you like being back?
I mean, I get to see my family and stuff. It's good. I like it. It's great.
Yeah, it's great, and it's all the great things that you're doing out there. And I know, it's a lot of people say, "Well, hey, you gonna ask some of these questions?" Well, I already know you can handle it. So I tell you what, Pastor Drake, can you tell me one adjective that would best describe who you are, and tell us why?
Adventurous because you know that I do stuff like jumping off high distances. I'm like kind of daredevil, but I'm good.
Wow, so you daredevil, adventurous. I like that. I like that because sometimes we have to take chances and do things like that. So who we all have role models. We all have people we look up to, and you are 8 years old, man. And who are some of your role models, and tell us why?
Uncle Eric and my auntie because they follow God Christ, and I want to be like them.
I like that. You have any other role models?
Hmm. Some other role models, I'll say my great grandma.
Hmm. Yeah, so, what before we get off into a lot of things that you're doing, and the most important question I'm gonna ask right now is, you love God, you're 8 years old, and you understand God. Can you just tell our listeners why is that so important?
I mean, why is that so important? Following his Ten Commandments, doing everything it says, could get you back in heaven, and you can go where you was before. You have to make it back up to heaven, a good place and a better place.
And you're absolutely right because when I believe that that's the only true way that we can get to heaven is to understand God, and especially when you are at a young age, because if you understand Him right then and there, I think that it's always going to be in your heart, and you can bless others by, because we always tell them how great God is, right?
Right.
And so, but before we start talking about your book, what are some of the things? I mean, I know you're doing so many things right now. What are some of the things that you envision yourself doing as you grow up, as you expand, as you gather in more knowledge? So what do you want to be? We already know what you are. We already know what's been planted, but
I mean, I want to be like, I want to be, should I say this? But I'm going to say, like, there's two things I want to be. Just in case I'm saying two things just in case if one thing doesn't work out, I'll still have another thing. So I want to be the president of a different country, but if that doesn't succeed, I will be a police officer, protecting. But before I do any of those, I'll go in the Navy.
wow, man. So you already got a plan. You already got it laid out. You know what, Pastor Drake? Most people 40, 50 years old don't have a plan like you do, but you got three different plans. And I'm sure, 100% sure, whatever you decide to be, you're gonna be the best that you can be. Hey, Doc D, what are some of your thoughts on this, Doc?
Well, this young man is, like I said, near and dear to my heart. So I'm excited about the things that as he's sharing them. Uh, I'm looking at him, man, and I'm holding back tears actually. Just looking at the future, man. The children are our future, man, and I just think that the more we apply, and pour into them and sow into them, the better chances that they get to see things. And he's already starting to dream about the things that he wants to do. To protect and serve his country by going into the military. Already selected Navy, as he's saying, the Navy. He's have options and he's choosing the Navy. And we have many family members, including yourself, Doc, that are, that's gone in the Navy before him. So, I'm proud of the young man.
Wow, I'm proud of him already. I mean, just like you already know, he's like a nephew to me. I mean, I just love chatting with him because he inspires, and he's going to continue to do those things. So Drake. Now, can you tell our listeners and our viewers the title of the show is "Why Children Should Know God"? Uh, before they grow up. Why is that important to you? Why you chose that topic?
I mean, I chose that topic because it's like you can know God and follow his 10 commandments. He's gonna help you through this difficult and not that easy life, because everything in life ain't gonna be easy. Following his rules don't mean that bad stuff won't happen, but he's gonna help you figure them out through them, and you can make it back to heaven.
Right. So I believe you saying, as long as you have an understanding and you, just like the 10 Commandments or just like God's rules, as long as we understand those things, we'll have a roadmap to ensure that we have an opportunity to get in heaven. That's a great answer. But you know what? We're going to have to take a station break, but we're going to come back. We're going to talk about that a little bit more, because this incredible young pastor here is going to educate us, and we got a long way to go. So I tell you what, if you want to be part of this conversation, all you do is go to the comments, ask them any question you want to. We'll be back shortly after the break. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley.
I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something you and me, and I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you. I'm so drawn to you. Yeah.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and just like Michelle and I was talking about earlier, this is the younger guest that out of about 600 guests on the show. This is the absolute youngest guest that we have. But I tell you what, he is handling up. He is handling up. This young man right here, vision, understanding, and focus. He got it. He got it. And he's going to continue to bring it. But we're going to talk about his book a little bit more. But he's also an author, and this is just want to just show everybody. Just pay attention, please. Wow, that is so incredible, right there. Hey, Pastor Drake, tell us a little bit about your book. Tell us a little bit of why. I think it's a five-part series that we're doing, right? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But I can tell you about my book. It's about the 7 days of creation. God made the land, dry fruit. He made human. He made all the animals. He made heaven and earth. Human was like here to take care of the animals, kind of like, and they eat from fruits. They had a perfect life. So it's about the 7 days of creation, and then it's going to be the 10 commandments God gave to Moses, and then the 10 commandments was really special and to the Israelites. If they follow God, then it was really special.
Wow. You know, so the first book that you got that's going to be released right around Christmas time. Um, does that concentrate on a certain portion of the 7 days when God created heaven and earth, or do just tell us about the first one that's coming out right
The Why Kids Should Know God, I could tell you a little bit about it. It's not, like I'm saying, it's not out yet, but it's like the 7 days of creation. He made day and night. He made water, and he made creatures for water in the sky. He separated. He did a lot. He did a lot of cool things, and God is amazing.
now? God is amazing. What's your thoughts on that, Doctor E?
Yes, sir. As he mentioned, I think one of the things that I was excited about when Drake, he studies and he uh, chose the title, and how he wrote it out was really to help children to understand why they should know God now, as versus later, because the sooner you know, the less mistakes you make. Is kind of talk about that, Drake, as far as that go. The mistakes that people can make. The earlier you know about God's commandments, the more you're able to avoid some of the pitfalls, like you were saying.
It's like you can make mistakes, and it's not like every mistake you made is because of a bad choice, but you can sin. You're sinning every time, so you just have to keep on forgiving God and ask God for forgiveness, even though it's difficult choices. But you need to know something about. So, but then afterwards, God's gonna make a good blessing happen.
Wow. You know, that's I can't believe I'm hearing this from an 8-year old. I mean, he truly gets it. He truly understands this. So Drake, man, you writing books, you doing daredevil things, like you said, but you in this school. Can you tell our viewers and our listeners what type of school this is, what you love about it, and what you're learning?
A South Academy. I love how it teaches you stuff. Roger Billing comes on, you see him, and then now he's talking about some science projects. It's mostly about science. He's like a man of science and discovers new things after all his inventions. There's certain stuff you have to do for his inventions to work.
So, what are some of the science projects that you're learning about in this Accelis Academy? I know robotics is one, but what type of robotics are you talking about?
All of my classes, robotics, all of them, I have social emotional learning, math, science, language arts and reading. Robotics is a programming type of thing, and social emotional learning is how to control your emotions, and some emotions you can just let go and let them bloom. But there's some you need to control, or something not going to happen and you're going to do another sin. And sins aren't the good thing, because in the Bible it's not going to be a good thing.
Wow.
That's what
Yes.
Adam and Eve did in the garden, and that's why they was farmers, but Cain and Abel killed his brother. They was sinning because, and that's a perfect example, because he sinned because anger.
Yeah, and why don't you tell our audience a little bit more why you need to control your anger so that you won't commit those types of sins and you'll continue to fall in God's path?
I mean, it's just like Abel, because he sinned because he made a choice to do not put God first. If he did that choice like Abel and gave the first thing that was greatest and not just try to do other stuff with it, he would have got appreciated by God, and that wouldn't have happened. But since Abel loved God truly, and nothing wasn't happening to him, but God knew all that was gonna happen, and he wanted to see if Abel would tell the truth. Now anger is still in there, so he said, "Okay, what did I do? I'm gonna cover this up and say I didn't do nothing." And once you already know God knows the answer, just tell him the truth. Even though you really think you don't, you have to, because you can't. And that's like when Jonah ran, he had like something of scaredness about people, so he tried to run away from all knowing some God. He knew he knows everything. You can't run away from him because he's in the sky. He can see everybody from there.
So, Mr.
Hey,
Drake
no,
Norris, yes, sir.
no, I'm getting
Uh,
ready to tell you step in because I'm just
yeah,
amazed, man.
yes, absolutely. So, going back to your schooling, because I think it's important to note, because like you mentioned, Roger Billings, he's a philanthropist, and the gifted and talented school that he goes to offers scholarships for kids starting at a young age through the STEM program. And so one of the biggest things about Drake in this class, he's been in the school for 2 years now, second grade and third grade, and he he um, he actually tested on a seventh grade reading and comprehension level, and the science and social emotional learning. He did a 4.0 grade point average. I think right now, as you started the new grade, your new third grade season semester of school, what's your grade point average right now?
I mean, it's 3.7D, but 3.7 because it's got a little bit more challenging, but it's not like something I can't handle. I can handle it, but it's got a little bit more challenging.
So 3.7 is pretty good.
I mean, it's there to a 4.0, 3.70, but the 80, 90, then a 4.0, that's it. That's it.
well,
That's your
you
goal, huh?
remember at the goal. Remember what I said when we first started the show, and Dr. Cooley, Michelle Cooley said, "How you doing today?" I said 3.2 on a 4.0 scale. Just because we get an opportunity to continue to rise and rise. We always have something that we can reach for. And so you still can get that 4.0, and because you're going to be climbing up the ladder, reaching it and
I
reaching it.
mean, I mean, the more I understand and get these and I learn from my mistakes, I'm going to start getting more and more. Then that ain't going to be so challenging. Then I'm going to get 4.0. It's like the
Oh man.
it's like kind of like it's like the skill I was supposed to be at.
Hey
So
Doc,
your
I had
robotics
never.
class. So tell them about your programming. So what are you learning in robotics?
I'm learning how to program everything, like it puts in music for the right things, dance, program stuff. So when you get like a real robot, you can tell it what to do when you're older and you'll know this stuff.
So so
It's this like a little mini it's like little mini classes, like how math got little mini classes. It's just like a little mini class for when you get bigger and grow up. You got it all covered.
I love this. This is so wonderful because it is. It is. You start with little things, and as you continue to build, and as you continue to gain more knowledge, and you begin to understand these things and put them in focus. So it was told of me that you was reading one of my books, and you added something to my vision, understanding, and focus portion of that book. Can you tell our viewers and listeners what do you come up with? And I think you added something else.
It's discipline. I mean, vision, understanding, and focus. The meanings. Vision is the ability to think or plan the future using wisdom or imagination. Understanding is the ability to comprehend. Focus is the ability to pay attention to detail, and discipline is the ability to have self control.
Wow. So at 8 years old, you done put all of those things together. How do you utilize that vision, understanding, focus, and now discipline to stay disciplined to continue to learn and continue to
I
grow?
mean, those are all life lessons. Discipline you'll need, like if you need to survive at certain places. You'll need discipline so you won't you can have self-control. And vision, you have to vision everything out so you can vision it and then you can know what you want to do and do it. And then understanding it, when you understand something, it's easier for you in this life because life
Wow.
ain't gonna be easy.
Have everything been easy for you so far, or have you learned some things where you're saying, "Hmm, I like that. Let me grab that and put it in the good bag here because as I grow up and continue to learn, and I got this here. I see that's
I
not
mean,
that good, and you put it in the bag, so you can look in that bag and say, I don't want to do that. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I'm not like that because I'll just keep on doing it until I can learn how it goes, and then once the review and the other stuff hit, you can move past it because you get an understanding. You like something, but you don't want to do it, but also you're gonna want to do it in the future. You might not realize it now. That's not gonna be helpful because you don't like it, but when it's going in the future, you're gonna be like, it's helpful. It's really helpful for me.
Wow, we got to take a station break. I can't wait to get back after the break so we can pick up just some more. And I tell you, if you want to be part of this great conversation with Pastor, with the great pastor, all you have to do is just go to the comments, ask him any question you want to. We'll be back shortly after the break. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. See you shortly.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
We are not a charity. We are veterans. We are warriors, brothers, and sisters. We don't need, we deliver. Opsforvets.com. Handshakes, not handouts.
I'm Albert Rencheria, Marine Chief Warrant Officer 4 retired, Ops for Vets CEO. I invite you to take a look at our organization. You'll quickly understand why out of thousands of groups currently serving our veterans, we have become the most rapidly growing and opportunity-rich team in the market. We have deployed dynamic distributors who are responsible for servicing and growing their regions, East, Central, and West. We provide a complete roster of high-caliber services, produced to create the results you require. Find us on the web at www.opsforvets.com. Handshakes, not handouts.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I gotta tell you, hey, Dr. Cooley, I know that you've been listening to it in the background. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this young man right here?
Oh my gosh, very amazing for such a young age. Very, I wouldn't say, well, this is not the right word, but just a very introspective young man. To be so young, but I'm sure there are other young people out there like that who have that relationship with the Lord, and they just
I don't think they got too many like this one, Michelle. I mean, I'm just gonna be real with you. I mean, not too many like this one.
Well, I have a couple of questions for Pastor Drake, if possible.
Go ahead on.
Okay, Pastor Drake, how are you?
Good.
Good. I have two questions for you. One is, you're talking about discipline, you're talking about vision, understanding, focus. What is, and I know you probably have many, but what is one of your favorite scriptures in the Bible that you love to read?
My favorite scriptures, I don't have a favorite because all of them teach you very good lessons and not to do stuff that's wrong. But I can name a few, like the devil takes Jesus, Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, the 10 Commandments, Moses, let my people go.
Mm-hmm.
There was bad things to happen to them for them to be free. But after they complained, they didn't make it. Then another group that fought with God, is the one that he's the one that led the Israelites. Then they was grateful.
Mm-hmm.
So God provided them, but just because pain in there, we're gonna go through pain because what happened in the garden. Now, is that really a bad thing? No. But but to some people, yes.
Wow. So I have another question. What does the word gratitude mean to you?
It's like if Jesus came down and everything to lead people to the right path. And since he did that, people are gonna go with God. Some people don't do it, but those people, after they seen what happened and what he could do, some people are more in life, as they get older, go with God. Some get baptized and some do other things. But God has that handled, whatever they do.
So gratitude, what I think you're saying is just being grateful that God is there, and we have to always uplift him, and know that we are thankful for him giving us an opportunity, like he's giving you an opportunity to blossom, and you are blossoming already, and you will continue to climb, and it's you are already a walking book of knowledge right now at 8 years old. What you got to say about that, Dr. E?
Doc, I think we're saying it. We're listening to, a young prodigy who, truly has the love. For Christ, and he goes and read on his own and come back and ask questions. Can you explain this a little differently so I can understand it? And I love the way that brain thinks of his. So I think that he's setting himself up for a very successful life. He mentioned the military. So we talk about, vision, understanding, and focus and discipline are all characteristics of us military veterans. And so, he's got a head start in this thing because he has the hard part figured out. So I enjoy it, just listening to what he's doing right now. It's just, it's amazing. Drake, you're doing a great job. So
You're doing a fantastic job, Drake. I tell you, just like Steve, a good friend of mine, just put it, great mindset. Everything starts with the mindset. And if sometime our mind is set where we is locked into the past and it's not locked into growth, your mind, I believe, just listening to you, there is nothing but growth there because you already got the foundations of your mindset. So I'm just loving this interview, and I tell you, folks out there that's listening to this, hey, just like I said earlier, you got to teach them when they're young.
train
If
the
you
child
start
up in the way
teaching,
they should go.
and you got to teach them, and can if we start teaching our youth and young adults like what this young man right here is doing, they'll get an opportunity to go places as well. Now, Drake, I ain't
Doc,
gonna
can
let
I
you
ask you a
off.
question real quick?
Yes,
You said
yes.
you mentioned about your book. So young Drake, he picked up your book, seen it laying around. So what's the name of Dr. Cooley's book? Do you remember?
Country boy, city boy, journey ain't over yet.
Wow.
Okay, and what can you tell him about it? You kind of done some things in there, researched some stuff. So what can you tell him about it?
I mean, I it's his book, but I could say that the way that the mom had to drop some of her kids off, and he's what part of his family, and that made him successful. Even though he's not what the one that birthed him, doesn't mean like he won't be successful, but he still made it through after stuff happens.
Who he dedicated his book to?
He dedicated his book to his mother and his grandmother.
Wow. You read my book. Oh man. Yes, I dedicated my book to my mother and my grandmother because My mother did take myself and my brother Jerry, as you read in the book, to live with my grandma, my aunt, and uncle. And from there, I learned what hard work was all about. I learned foundations, just like what you're doing right now, man. Foundations, things that we stand on, things that we have to adjust our mindset to in order for us to move forward. So just tell me a little bit more. Anything else in my book that stood out to you?
Could I say one thing?
Yes.
I want to say that, and when you hard work and stuff, paying attention, all those things matter, because when you do those things, just because some things look boring, it's not gonna look boring after you see some things what happen and what other people go through. So God is a forgiving God, so He will forgive you for the mistakes you made.
You
Yes,
are
sir.
absolutely right. You want to pick up on that, Doc?
Yeah, absolutely. Just where he's coming from in his mindset is just, I live with the kid every day, and I'm sitting there and so impressed with him every day, and for what it means in my family, to have this child prodigy, as I would call him. We call him Pastor Drake because he loves the Lord. I mean, that's why it may seem like a nickname and title. He's wearing that thing, so I'm excited for him, schooling, him loving what he does, him loving the Lord, him loving to read, all those things is gonna, are strong foundational characteristics for success for anybody. So, he's leading the way in this thing, man. And I'm hoping that as people watch today's show and at least get an understanding that we can learn from our children. If we give them and train them in the way they should go, they have things that come back and teach us as well. So I'm learning from him every day, and I'm grateful for that. So in gratitude, as Michelle was asking, I'm grateful and blessed to have been able to, love on somebody in the family, man, that truly loves the Lord.
Wow. And Pastor Drake, now you mentioned to me about my grandmother. I think your grandmother adopted you. Can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about that?
I mean, great grandma was a great grandma. She was like important to me. Like, she did a lot of things that spoiled me a little bit, but I love her for that, and I'll always keep on loving her. Even though she's not here today, I will see her once again once we unite in heaven.
Wow. So did your great grandmother have any influence on you in writing? I mean, just want to write books and tell people about the Lord and just being able to share.
I mean, she had an influence on me about the Lord and stuff. We'll pray every night. We read the Bible. So that's something, but my Uncle Erick is the one that had the book. So I look up to my great-grandma. Like I said, I look up to my uncle, my great-grandma, my auntie. I look up to some of my families and what they do. Because once the littles, it goes from the big to little, then it's just going to keep on going. So the littles can do something, and then after what you do for the littles, they come big and do for their littles. And they're going to have a great life and successful.
Wow. On that note, we're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back with some more Pastor Drake. And if you want to be part of this great conversation, I say you go to you hit the comments right now and ask this young man any question you want to. We'll be back shortly after break. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. I'm James Cooley. I am the founder and CEO of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, Options, Opportunities, Lasting Choice Program. Our primary mission is to help build the foundation of our youth and young adults and communities. And we encourage everyone to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are here for a purpose. You also have to be able to step out your comfort zone and do things that you probably didn't think that you can do. Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and this has been an amazing interview. And guess what? We still got some more left. So I was excited. You guys saw the excitement on my face prior to this interview, this show starting. Look at it now. One thing I did not tell you all that if you did not get at least 10 bags of popcorn, you're gonna run out. And you're gonna run out of popcorn, and we still got a lot more show to go. So hey, Dr. E, man, I am loving this, my friend. I'm loving this.
Yeah, I think we have to do this, and giving the young, the youth a platform for them to express themselves, man, especially, we look at them as children and rightfully so, but guided the correct way. You can hear the young man in him at 8 years old. And so, I'm proud of you, Dr. Drake, Pastor Drake, and all the things that you're inspiring to be, Police Officer Drake, Navy Officer Drake, So won't you share a little bit about, the title of your book? So what age do you think parents should teach their children to know God?
I mean, for most kids, I would say 3, but then for kids that can get sharp understanding, I'll say the youngest age they are, like 2. But 1 is like one of the ages they won't understand. But I'll say 2 and 3. For the
So the
sharp
younger
ones,
the better?
yes. For the sharp ones are 2. For the ones that are like, you could kind of predict them if you have a known brain, then I'll say 3. Because that's the
Okay.
age where they can talk and
Mark, you
stuff.
see all those comments coming in on the show?
Oh man, I see a lot, man. I see a lot more that you don't see. I mean,
Okay.
like hundreds. I mean, and so I see a lot more. But hey, Pastor Drake. Okay, so how has knowing God changed your life at such a young age? You're only 8. Can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little how you feel in your heart that how God has changed your life?
I could say like God is the priority and the creator, and He's have done so much good things for everybody in the Bible. Now, by knowing Him makes these good decisions and good choices and knowing a good life doesn't mean we'll go through pain, but since we go through pain, we learn from our mistakes and not go through pain that much. But once you get older and start developing, the pain ain't going to hurt that much if you know Christ.
Wow. So do you feel right now that your friends, a lot of your friends, I'm talking about when you do decide to be that little 8-year-old, and you're out there having fun, do a lot of your friends and cousins and who you hang out with, do they know God, or you been trying to teach them to know God?
I mean, Matt and the 2 little girls, I only have 1 friend, so we didn't really do much. So she had to stay inside, whereas in her home she had to leave. Yeah, but Matthias knows about him. He just has to teach his little sisters, and I have to teach them too, the younger.
Oh yeah. So as a
Even if
pastor,
a grown up, even if it's a grown up that don't know God, the youngers can still teach, even from how young they are.
so you're gonna have to teach people that just don't know God, regardless how old they are. If they come around you, you're gonna teach them, right?
Yes,
And why is that important?
I mean, why is that important? So their life can be with Christ, and they can do so much blessings and greatness for other people, because it's not about you, but it's good that you share with other people, because they're like they're like families and everything, friends, everything. You share with everybody, regardless if they're a man of God or not.
Oh yeah, we had to. I tell you what, we're down about last 3 minutes of the show, but and I got to get this from you. I got. Can you tell our viewers and our listeners three takeaways that they should take from this conversation? And why they need to. If they're not doing the right thing, just change their attitude, change their mindset. So, can you tell them about three things?
Okay. One, you have to trust in God's plans. Two, as you're developing, you have to still trust. You have to still trust Him, so the pain won't hurt as much, no matter what happens. And the last one is that when you are feeling down and alone, you grab somebody that's close to you and pray to God.
Wow, what you got to say about that, Dr. E? 1 minute or less.
1 minute or less. Wow.
Yes.
I think it's phenomenal, just to be able to afford this opportunity, and watching him across this from afar, um, he has great and mighty things planned for his future, and I'm excited for that, and I really have a heart to appreciate, the direction he wants to go in life, so I'm grateful.
Wow. So, Pastor Drake, I know that I'm gonna have a lot of my other host friends that's watching this that's probably gonna want to bring you on the show. So if you open to going on their show, I can set you up with a few, and just we go on there and teach them about God if they don't already know. What are your thoughts on that, real quickly?
My thoughts on, if they don't know God and they know a lot about God, then I'm cool with that. But when they're doing less stuff and not gonna, I'm gonna still go on their shows. It depends. I mean, it really depends on, are they gonna try to set me up, and what kind of show is it? Is it a good show or a bad show?
We're not gonna let you go on no bad show.
That's
Right,
right.
right, Dr. E.
That's right. That's right. But he got
No
the
bad
idea,
show.
man. It got to
So
be
you can
about God,
set
or it
me
ain't
up
right.
with some.
Yeah, so I tell you what, this has been so much fun. And I got to have you back on my show again because we're going to do part two. We're going to do part two. We're going to talk to our viewers and our listeners about God a lot more. So I want to thank you for taking the time to come on the show today. Doc, my brother,
Yes, sir.
love you, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you,
Thank
man.
you. Thank
Great
you.
Thank you.
job,
Uh,
Drake. Mr. Drake.
Thank you, Dr. Cooley.
Thank you. Thank you. The first
Thank
lady
you.
there that's in the back. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'd like to thank my beautiful wife, Dr. Michelle Cooley, for always taking the time to do the heavy lifting and putting these programs together. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our listening audience, our viewers for tuning in and just bringing love to all of these great guests, especially this young guest that we had on the show today. So, in part, and I want everybody to always dream big, think big, and be big at every thing that you do. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley.
Straight out of my head. Guess we